So just the off case approach. Okay.
The permutation fails. It treats gender as an afterthought. Stearns 980. Feminists eschew identifying gender variable, and I employing gender as variable will miss the point. Since gender was not simply an attribute, gender cannot be viewed as variable because one is never outside of gender. The project to gender I identifying gender variable more did not go beyond a crude measure of impacts or amounting to a little more than stacking up dead male bodies against female bodies. Next, the pure alt framing is critical. The 1AC's presentation naturalizes gender and makes it an affable Christensen aid. Framing is the key psychocultural struggle to shape the terms of debate. Gender is part of this framing process. Gender interweaves with other discourses and shapes them and shapes our world. Gender association with weakness of women has been used to argue for the need to defend the threatened national homeland. Gender ideologies organize power and relations. Political discourse is structured by binary codes. Discourse is ordered around ideologies that map onto binaries such as realistic and unrealistic, east-west, rational, irrational, binary, opposition, structure, policy, options in a way that prevents resolution, value, conflicts. Non-dominant ways of being can be embraced as alternatives to hegemonic power. Such challenges to hegemonic masculinity challenge institutional relations and sustaining domination. Defensive masculinity occurs through discourses. Images of masculinity are employed within policy circles to structure policy debate to their advantage. Symbols to frame a debate places the sides in relation to each other, while anything that falls out of this ideological frame can be discursive and dismissed, using not only tilts and bounces of the debate toward the masculine side, but excludes the options that fall outside the binary framework. That's in response to their framework that said they wanted to know some answers to that. Well, there's your answer. Then back to their perm. The perm reifies the status quo by making dangerous masculine practice by packaging the debate to obscure violent rhetoric or head-o-2. The prevailing order maintains control of debate by masking dangerous practices and packaging the debate in a way that obscures the destructive forces at work by containing the impact and radicalism of critiques aimed at it. It also is important to disable the popular concept. This concept had the most success in containing stabilizing critiques of society, reaffirming existing structures and power relations. Next, realism. Their defense of realism is a link and prevents their permutation from solving. Their perm cannot solve. The assumption that realism is natural and inevitable prevents the possibility of the criticism from being transformative. Peterson, Ryan, 99. The privileged status of claims to objectivity, like claims to reality, marginalizes potential critiques. To exaggerate the difference of separation and inevitability. If we are looking through the lens of the naturally given, we cannot ask a variety of questions taken seriously. Other normal questions appear irrelevant or pointless, and the alternate visions appear necessarily utopian. Next, realism foundation rests on masculine descriptions of behavior. The alternative solves. Tickner, 92. Neorealism's commitment to positive methodology resolve serves to hide its masculine underpins beneath its claimed objectivity. Realism is constructed an approach that builds on assumptions based on masculinity. Hegemonic masculinity do not fit in the behavior of all men. Realist relations have and been constructed of masculine characters, autonomy, power, independence, rationality. The level analysis by realists are merely discrete levels of analysis which have an artificial boundaries which can be dominated, mutually reinforcing concepts based on each other. Hegemonic masculinity. Realism has constructed world views based on the behavior half of humanity, bringing to light this association between an idealized manhood and international relations, reveal the possibility of constructing alternative perspectives divorced from masculinity. Feminist perspectives demonstrate that there are equally plausible alternative ways of conceptualizing security. You don't have to conceptualize it through realism or through this patriarchal world that the negative or that the app is showing. Next, patriarchy is the root cause of in response to their Hooks 95 card that states women have had a role in upholding militarism. This is completely false, and it's this patriarchy that has caused the militarism and the commodification of women. PCP 9. The very structure of the military is patriarchal. To galvanize the structure against militarism, its gender-based approach has to be challenged. Women have been considered spoils of war and victims under the phrase collateral damage, commodifying, trafficking them, and thus systematically violating their dignity. Military reinforces the sexual commodification of women. It also perpetuates sexual violence against women. Military occupation further degrades women. So the fact that they're saying that women had a role in upholding militarism is horrible. On to their argument on feminism and how it's racist. Judge, do not accept this argument. If only it degrades women further. I'm completely offended, besides the fact that I'm a woman and have to fight every day to get by in this patriarchal world. The fact that we're now being called racist for believing this feminine ethic is absolutely ridiculous and should not be allowed. Their Genevieve 96 card is saying that if anything, is just continuing this patriarchal culture by saying it hurts African American women. As a woman, I don't care what color your skin is. All women have constantly had to fight for the same rights, literally no matter what race, ethnicity you are. It doesn't matter if you're a woman in today's society, no matter what your color, you still have to fight every single day, and especially in international relations. They mentioned the Supreme Court justices, and said that that was degrading to them, that we are not degrading, but I believe their words were, that we are rendering those women invisible, but again, that's completely false and only instigating this patriarchal belief. These are amazing women that have beaten this patriarchal belief. They've done what women all over the world want to do, and the fact that they're saying that is horrible. Again, with the women have had a role in upholding domination and militarism, as my card said, the PCP9, that is just disgusting. It's militarization only reinforces like the sexual commodification of women. It's just further degrading women. Women, when we go to war, they're trafficked, raped, everything. They're spoils of war. It's horrible, and the very structure of the military is patriarchal. Women in our own United States, women are consistently raped, sexually assaulted. Is that it?
Yep.
Oh.
I'll take credit.
Okay, you have 623.